Hey there, cool cats. I'm so glad we could meet for our discussion on Jazz Up Outlook. I stepped away from the speakeasy so we could have this conversation. I only have an hour for this presentation. Great seeing all you guys. If you're new to this scene, our Teens Tip session are chances for us all to share the greatest tips and techniques in the field. Technically speaking, I'm the lead character today. Host. I'm Amanda Pritchard. Good to meet you. For those who loyally make these sessions, take a look in the chat. You really know your onions. You know what's going on. And I like to recognize that commitment. If your name is in the chat, I'll have my people send your people a token of my affection. So move your peepers to the chat box and take a peek. You may already know, but I'm on assignment with the Office of Information Technology. They've arranged this meeting so we can talk quietly without raising suspicion. Just in case we get busted, we have a rendezvous location established. I'm giving you the coordinates to a secret location where you can meet me again. For you see, this isn't the only time I'll break away. So be a pal and nab some future options from the chat. I have a few backups today that have helped to arrange our time together, and I'd like to recognize Ratika and Meghalite for securing this location. You dames are the cat's meow. So spill it. Tell me, are you ready for a rip-roaring good time? Don't forget, while you can't use your pipes to speak up, you can use secret codes through the Q&A chat. Use your flippers or hands and send me what you want me to know. We will be keeping a record of this conversation, so you can play it back later. We have records of all of our previous tech testimonies, and you super sleuths who support these meetings can subscribe and help keep surveillance on any future themes. I hope you'll keep it on your radar, old sport. I'm on assignment today because someone's been killing it with their Outlook skills, and we're going to see what makes their efforts so well. Let's investigate. Many of these tips will help you clean up a messy inbox so that you can quickly access the information you need. Let's jump in and look at the size of your inbox. To start, take a look under File in the top left corner of your email account. At a glance, you can see your mailbox settings. Likely, you'll have a lot of space. Our accounts can hold a substantial amount of data. But let's just take a look to see if you're in a pinch. Under Mailbox Settings, you can click Tools and then Mailbox Cleanup to see where some of your largest files are being stored. You can search for larger or older files and manually remove them if you want more space. This is very useful if you want to email with large attachments or remove emails with large attachments, and you can delete them from Outlook and move them to a hard drive or our cloud service such as OneDrive. And that's a ducky way to tidy up old emails. Let's see how to organize the messages that you want to keep. Let's navigate back to the main screen. To be square, I'm going to show you the lead item on this investigation. If you've had an earful or enough of trying to get to your messages in the right folders, rules will help make it happen for you. Right-click a message in your inbox or in another email folder. We'll select one from Seisha and then select Rules. Rules allow you to move, flag, and respond to email messages automatically. You can also use rules to play sounds, move messages into folders, or display new item alerts. Here is where you can set up what you want Outlook to automatically do for you. This spiffy tool takes the stress out of organizing. Outlook automatically suggests creating a rule based on the sender and the recipients. To view more options, select Create Rule. In the Create Rule dialog box, select one or more of the first 3 checkboxes. We're going to select the first. So if we want all emails from Stacia to go into a specific folder, we can set a rule and run it, and Outlook will automatically move them. Select Move Item to Folder checkbox, and then select the specified folder. We already have a folder in place, so we'll select Stacia's emails. Then select OK. And how. The messages will move all by themselves. Click OK to save your rule because you don't want your work to fly this joint. Be sure you get it to commit to helping have your back. It takes just a minute for that rule to process, depending on how many emails you have from that specific individual. Now that it's processed, we'll go back to the main screen. If you need to manage the rules after you've created them, you can access them and manually run one or more rules. On the File tab in the left corner of your screen, you can scroll down and choose Manage Rules and Alerts. And on the Email Rules tab, you can choose Run Rules Now. In the Run Rules Now box, under Select Rules to Run, you can choose the rule that you want to run. So for us, we'll select My Analytics, which is a rule that we've already created. We already had it in place. In the Run in Folder box, you can select a different folder. If you're wanting it to run and pull data from emails in a different place, so browsing that, you can choose the folder. For us, we'll just go ahead and choose My Analytics. We'll choose the let's go back. I want to see what it looks like if we choose the sent items. So we'll look for any new messages that may have come or gone from me with that information and place it in the My Analytics folder. You can select the bottom checkbox, the Include Subfolders option, to be sure that the subfolder in your inbox are included. When you're finished with your selections, choose Run Now. It may take a moment to process, again, depending on how many messages that you have and the history of those messages that are going to fall into that rule. Now we can close out of these rules, and we're going to navigate to our web version of Outlook to look at another feature. Primarily today, we're going to be investigating features that are on the desktop version, since that's primarily what we have users in our audience using. After today's session, as part of our record keeping, we're going to send you more details on if you want to know how to use some of these tools on the web version or on a Mac. But for now and for today, we're going to focus our time on the desktop version. We know the other versions are important, but because of our timing, we won't have the ability to go through every individual item throughout today's session. So next, we're going to be looking at Sweep. You can use Sweep to tidy your inbox. This is offered on the mobile or the web version of Outlook for quick cleaning, but it is not available on the desktop app. Sweep quickly dusts out unwanted emails out of your inbox. You can automatically delete all incoming email from a particular sender. Please don't set this to delete my messages. It's fine if you want to run this program on other people, just not mine. For anyone that you want to scram, this is the best means of removing them from your inbox without making them swim with the fishes. Select an email message from a sender whose message you want to delete by selecting the checkbox next to their name. Select Sweep from the top banner. It looks like a small broom. You can choose how you want to handle email messages from the sender. You'll see on the screen now that there's multiple options involved. One of the first ones states to move all the messages from that inbox folder. So you can choose to move any within that individual's name and email somewhere else that you designate, whether you delete it or move it to another folder. The second option says move all messages from inbox folder and any future messages. So that way, if you want any of those communications, if it's about a conference or an event, it can automatically go into a folder that you designate. So you know when you're wanting that information, you can go there to find it. The third is to always keep the latest messages and remove the rest from the inbox folder. This is a way to tidy up and remove old communications you no longer need to reference. And final option is to always move messages older than 10 days from the inbox folder. This is for the especially cool cats who like an empty inbox. For our purposes right now, we'll select the third option. In the Move To box at the bottom, you can choose to delete or move these emails similarly to how we moved messages with rules. We're going to move this particular message, rather than to delete, to our miscellaneous folder. It's one that we already have created on our Outlook. Since this message is just an extraneous communication, we'll go ahead and move it to miscellaneous so we can reference it at a later time when we have focus. After you've selected your folder, select OK. After that quick cleanup, we can move back to the desktop app because we finished sweeping the web browser. Aren't these features swell? One of Outlook's most underused features is undoubtedly quick steps. These easy-to-use shortcuts allow you to automate repetitive actions to avoid unnecessary clicks. For the email power user, quick steps are an indispensable tool that you should look at for your email workflow. You can find quick steps on the Home tab of Outlook. It's the icon that looks like a lightning bolt. When you first start, you'll see the default quick steps underneath that icon. You can click on any of them to apply the included actions to a selected message. Let's go ahead and build one real quick under New Quick Step. Then hover down to select Custom because we want to make one special for our needs. Let's name this one Seisha's Emails. We'll type that into the name box. You can name it whatever you want so that it's easy for you to remember the actions that you're wanting to put in place as a response to the emails that you're receiving. We can build how we want these messages to be categorized or moved. Under Choose an Action, let's select Move to Folder, and we'll go to Seisha's folder, which we already have developed. If you want additional actions, which we do, we're going to select Add Action for another action. For this one, let's select, how about Categorize? We'll select the color category to be blue. This is going to allow us to see all of those emails as blue. So under Choose Category, we can scroll down and choose blue. I think we're having just a little bit of a lag on our screen, so we'll get that in just a second. Once you've finished hitting those selections, there we go, blue. Once you've finished with all of your selections, then you can hit Finish, and it'll process the message that you selected. It's also going to save that quick step for you, so you don't have to continually build it. The next time you come across that message and you want it to be moved to a folder and categorized or flagged or a reminder, however you set up your quick action, it will run that process for you with just a few clicks so you can have it where you want it to go, saved the way that you want it. So if you have content frequently from the same people, Quick Steps is a really easy way for you to manage all of those messages. So Quick Steps allows multiple actions at the same time to email messages, as opposed to having to individually flag it or set yourself a reminder. It does multiple actions at once, saving you time. It helps you quickly manage your mailbox. So we're going to configure and change a couple existing Quick Steps so that you can see, if you already have one developed, what the process is to go in and make edits or modifications to that. So again, from the Quick Steps dialog, the lightning bolt, you can scroll down to Manage Quick Steps. We'll go ahead and select that and pull up our pop-up box. In the Quick Step box, you can see the various Quick Steps that are listed, and you can change whichever one you want. For us, let's go ahead and change Categorize Message. So you select the Quick Step on the left and then scroll down to select Edit. You're going to see in the description box, it had listed what our Quick Step entails. And here it's broken down for you so you can see every part of the way what this quick action is going to do to an email message. If there's anything that we wanted to change, we would simply hover over it. Let's go ahead and change the categorize message. And let's change the color category. Maybe red. So we'll just change that so that we're getting a different flagging system in our email, and we can see that process through whenever we apply this quick step. After you're finished editing, you just click Save, and then you select OK and navigate back to the main menu. If you don't want to create these quick steps and you'd rather do it individually based on your communications, you can right-click on an email message and navigate to the follow-up option. The follow-up option looks like a little red flag. From there, you can scroll over to the right and select when you're wanting a reminder to follow up. Flagging your emails helps to ensure that you don't miss anything or leave it behind. It ensures that you have those reminders built in as to when you'll have time to follow up on those communications. So you can see the days and times available to make changes or to customize how you may want to respond. When you click on the option that says Custom, you can specify details within that follow-up, such as setting a very specific date to follow up, either to start or when it's due. In addition, you can select the reminder option if you need additional reminders on that. So it's just another tool that you can use for responding in that fast action. So let's exit out of this and we'll go back to follow up and take a look at something else. Under follow up, if you scroll down, and I can't see it on that screen, let me see. If you scroll down, there's an option that says Quick Click. If you select Quick Click, it's going to pull up an option that allows you to mark or respond to an email with just one click to give it a category. And if you want to edit that quick click so that what most people have as their standard option whenever you do a click on the email is for you to follow up for a message today. If you don't have that kind of time, you can hover over the more information there under today and click next to today, and it will show you the option. If you click next to today, it will show you the option to change that as flagging it for tomorrow if you prefer to do it at a later time. Okay, let's right click on an email message, and I'm going to show you Find Related. For me, this has been the most useful tool to help gather information. You don't need to be a gumshoe or a detective to help locate your messages. Find Related is another tool that can help for those quick searches. In case you don't remember every message or conversation that you've received, this is a way to quickly find it and catch up on those conversations. Let's select a message from a sender. We've got that. So if you want to see a past conversation from a particular person, this is going to show you all of those conversations that you've received from that particular sender. It's going to pull up a thread based on that individual. So if there's any time that you may have forgotten what somebody said to you in an email, or you needed additional content, this is the way where you can gather it instantaneously without having to do a convoluted search. Let's go back. To exit out of this, in case you get stuck, at the very top blue banner of your screen, you'll see next to the search, there's an X. You'll want to exit out after you search so that you can get back to all of your other messages and communications so you don't get lost just in that thread. But let's go back to our email and look for a thread with a long conversation. We found one on chatbots. So we're going to select that message and go back to the option of Find Related. So before we did it from that particular sender, this time we're going to look at it as messages in this conversation. So that there's multiple people talking about a particular item or giving you back and forth information and feedback within that conversation, you can select messages from this conversation, and under Find Related, it's going to process those and pull up all of the results of all of those conversations, all of that back and forth and dialogue from multiple people. And this is excellent if you're working on a big project and you want to know everyone's feedback and updates. You can see it at a glance and have everyone there, all related to that particular conversation thread. It's a much easier way to search emails and remember what was said or what is being said about a particular project. Okay, next we're going to look at filter, arrange, and sort. Trust me, after applying these features in Outlook, it will no longer look like a ragamuffin. So first we're going to we'll exit out from our old search so that we can do a new search. This is if you're trying to look for a particular item, maybe that you don't remember the sender or the conversation topic, but you just remember something that was in that particular email. At the blue bar at the top of your screen, there's an icon that says search. So we're going to you can type a name, a subject, or phrase that's included in the email, and you can use quotation marks around that phrase to search on words in that exact order. For us, we're going to search quotation mark, YouTube, end quote. So we'll go ahead and do a search to see what type of emails that we've had in our communications about YouTube. So these are unrelated conversations, unrelated senders, but still on the topic that we were looking for. So Find Related is going to put them all within those same categories. But if you live in a mixed up world where not everything is so easily categorized, you can still find it using the search and quotation marks. In addition, if you've not checked out at the top of the screen under the blue bar, there's an arrow that points down, and that is for more information. It's going to allow you to refine your search based on a few advanced features. So spend just a second looking at this because I don't know if everyone's used this before. It was fairly new to me, and I love seeing the different filters and options here. So if you're looking for it from a specific person, you can enter that individual's name there. If you can remember that you got a message, but don't remember the exact content, you can put in their name. It also has something that might have occurred in the body of the email, such as YouTube, which we were just looking at. If you know it was sent around a certain time frame, maybe a chaotic season where you just missed all of those emails, you can put those dates in there. If you were on vacation for a week and they swear they sent it to you while you were out, put those dates in there and find out exactly what that message was. You can also search by subject and search by who you may have sent that to. If those filters aren't enough and you still can't find what you're looking for, you can always go to the bottom and add more options to specify what you can remember from that email conversation and be able to do custom searches that way to get exactly what you need. Okay, let's go ahead and exit out of Outlook. We have dove into the best ways to organize and streamline the use of Outlook. Now I need to turn my attention briefly to investigating key witnesses. Just a moment while I take their statements. Thank you. I think I've gathered the statements that I need. I know we've got a few more things to cover, so I want to be sure that you have all of this information. So the next section that we're going to be covering is all about Outlook efficiency. We've finished investigating some of the early details in Outlook, and I have new information from an informant. So I think we're going to continue on with moving towards high priority emails and scheduling emails. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the critical information that I need to get out right away. We'll get that pulled up in just a moment so that you can see the urgency of the matter. So if you have a critical email that you need out right away, and you want people to know that your message needs urgent attention, you can set the message as high important. If the message is just an FYI, or if you're sending an email to colleagues about non-work related topic, you can set the message as low importance. To set the priority of an email, you can click a new email to compose a message. Or if you have a draft open, you can go ahead and have that draft pulled up. So for me, I've got that draft pulled up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at what's so critical. So under the message ribbon, under the tags, you can see the different importance or low importance of your messaging. You can let people know if it needs to go out right away. So we went ahead and we're going to mark this one. Well, first we'll mark it high importance because we definitely need to know this information and we want it to get out to our group right away. So we'll flag this. In addition, you can also flag this for follow-up. If there's information in here that you are waiting for a response, you can select the date that you want to have a follow-up reminder. Okay? And I heard through the clothesline that you can also choose when to send your message. Let's say you want to impress the big boss with your work ethic. You can schedule a message and have them think you're working anytime. Just pull up your message and select options in the options from the top banner, and then you want to hover over the arrow for more options, right here. There are also quick icons up top if you don't want to go into the details. But if you're wanting to delay a delivery, you can set the time. And I usually like my messages to go out early mornings when everyone's fresh. So you can set do not deliver before and select the date you want it to go out, as well as the timing of your message. That way, it'll go out first thing in the morning when you're logged in to Outlook. So we've got that scheduled and ready to send out as high importance so that everyone will receive our communications and know how critical it is. You can send the message when you want, and everything is Jake or A-OK. And I see that we're getting a few comments in our secret codes here. Comments are moderated because we have to ensure that everything that's coming through is A-OK. So if you're seeing a comment, we do have somebody on the back end hidden in our speakeasy responding to those messages. Don't worry, you're not being ignored. So let's say you've drafted your message, you've got it ready to go, but you want to leave your signature mark on it. If you don't already have a signature in Outlook, you can create that and auto insert it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one that we've got. So you could open up a new email message. I'm going to just go ahead and use the one that I have open. And on the message menu, you can go from the message tab, and then you're going to be able to select that signature icon. In the signature icon, you can add signatures that you've already created, and you can customize these signatures based on the type of individual that you're responding to. You can create multiple ones so that it's customized to the response and your communication. So for us, we're going to go into signatures, and let's see where that pulled up. Yeah. It's hiding. I'm not sure which screen it's popping up on, but under signatures, you were able to create and edit that individual signature. I'm going to see if I can find it here. One moment. I'll look for it in just a second. But under signatures, you can create and edit your own signatures. You can put in hyperlinks and images. So if there's a particular event that you're wanting to communicate or information that you're wanting to share, or if you've earned a badge or special certification, you can put all of that in your signature so that you can make sure everyone knows about it. So for us, I've got one that's already created for event follow-up. So when you select that signature, you can see that it automatically pulls up on the bottom of the message, sending your specified communication to that individual. So under signature, that's going to allow you to customize your email communications and respond as needed. So you can compose it, you can change fonts, colors and sizes, as well as your text alignment, all within that signature to create that custom look that you want for your communications. So with Outlook, you can also set up automatic replies for when you're out of office. So I'm going to stop sharing this and reshare so that we can take a look at my out of office. That way you can see exactly where to go. Perfect. I think that's showing. Oh, let me reshare that. 1 second. Beautiful. So you can set up your automatic replies whenever you're out of office or unavailable to respond to an email. So we got here from the File tab, which is the main top screen. So from the File tab, you can then scroll down to Automatic Replies for when you're out of office or just unable to immediately respond to those messages. From here, you can click Automatic Replies and select what you want to send in those automatic replies. I have mine already set. What's very unique about out of office and important for all of us to understand in this virtual environment is that when you select your out of office and you have that ready to go, it's going to sync to your team's status and let people know that you're unavailable for whenever you set the parameters for your out of office. So within that out of office, you can select the days and times for how long you're wanting that communication to be up to individuals. So if you're very focused on planning for something and you just need a little bit of time to focus, you can set your out of office. And you can also reference other individuals who might be able to help take those emails and take those communications while you're out or in a time where you can't be disturbed. And teams will sync and have that out of office available, as well as that additional contact information if you need to refer them to somebody else in your absence. So you'll see here that in out of office, you are able to edit the size, the colors, the fonts, so that you can choose whatever you want to make it customized to your look and feel. You are able to add in a link and be able to share that information as well. So whatever you're wanting to communicate, however you're wanting to do it, you're able to do that and send those messages while you're out of office. So wow, using these features can help keep the heebie-jeebies away when you can't respond to your emails. Let's take another quick break and we're going to get your input on what you write in your out of office. Why don't you go ahead and send us that secret code as a message? Wowzers, I'm getting a lot of great feedback from you all about what you put in your out of office. And if I don't share some of these, I'm just going to go berserk. These are great. Um, One, it's summertime. You should not be emailing. You should be out playing like I am. Amen. Thank you for your message. I'm currently away from the office and will return. Oh, this is very formal. These are supposed to be wrong answers only. Can't talk right now. I'm playing Minecraft. That would be my son's message every day of his life. Sitting in my office with the door closed, playing Polycraft. Ooh, I love all of your wrong answers. We might have to recognize all of these efforts. One says, I don't write anything in my out of office. That's fine. Just keep everybody guessing. I like that. Great ideas on what to put in your out of office. I want to talk a little bit. I know that we have talked about mailbox spacing and efficiency. Um, and you know that feeling of wanting more space on the floor to do the foxtrot? OneDrive offers you a chance to free up that space on Outlook so you can go back to cutting a rug instead of having your system slow to a crawl. If you hadn't been tracking our team in these sessions this past year, you can review our wrap sheet on OneDrive and more. I'm going to post the link in our chat box for you to take a look in case you want to follow our past record and get information. But we've covered OneDrive, and specifically OneDrive, the importance of having those files hosted there instead of emailing large attachments, is that it minimizes the impact on Outlook and on your shared drive space. It's an easy way to be able to share those communications with somebody, to share those larger files, those presentations, all of those great memes without having to clutter up your inbox. OneDrive is a file hosting service, and it's synchronized and operated by Microsoft as part of the Office online services. You can securely store, edit, and access files from the cloud on multiple devices. So don't feel like if you're sending things through OneDrive that it's not as easily at your fingertips, just as it is when you send it in Outlook. You can access it through the web, you can install it on your computer, or automatically sync information to the cloud. So if you are guilty of attaching a PowerPoint file, a Word file, or any other document, and you routinely, systematically sending that out through Outlook, OneDrive is going to streamline your process and ensure you don't have to have multiple versions, such as Jazz Up Outlook presentation version 1, version 2, version 3, final. You can just send them a link to OneDrive. And anytime you make those updates, anytime you're trying to tweak it to find that perfect look or feel, send that link to OneDrive. You can upload the latest document. And anytime anyone on your team accesses it, they're going to have the real final at their fingertips. So I'm going to share my screen one more time for this next bit. One moment. There is something that we have not yet covered that I do want to share with each and every one of you. Everyone deserves the chance to be heard and to be helped. We want to ensure that the emails that we're sending, the communications that are going out are accessible. So I've pulled up my draft and you're able to see it on screen to do a quick check. As you're writing an email, any communications, any message, you want to be sure that everyone can see it and read it the way that works best for them. As you're writing it, you can select the option when you're ready at the end for review. Under review, you'll see a quick check that says check accessibility. It's going to pull up a pane on the right side of your screen, and it will list any of the issues that are found in your email. And it will tell you exactly what you need to do to correct those issues to ensure that everyone can receive and respond to the communications you send. If you don't already include this as part of your best practice, it's a great, easy tool to build in to make all of our communications more inclusive to the diverse population that we serve on campus. So, if you have issues here, it will give you the option to fix it, and you simply select Fix It, follow the prompts. It is that easy. Doing so will make you the bee's knees to so many people who are committed to equality. Rats, we are out of time, and I need to get back to the speakeasy. I think after our extensive investigation today, it's clear that we can be killing it by increasing our efficiency in Outlook. Now that you are the big cheese with how to jazz up your Outlook skills, don't lollygag around all day. Before you scram, you can send me a secret message and share all your feelings. Cite evidence from our discussion today as to what made an impact on you. Remember, we use it so you can be on record for your testimony. I'll be sure to share any information you want with the big cheese and lead detectives that I know. I'll give you a moment to put on your cheaters so you can see where you can send your statement. We want to share your feedback with the newsies so others can read all about what these sessions are like. Let's blouse. I need to head back to the speakeasy and relay our findings from today. I know many of you are familiar with my undercover division, the Office of Information Technology. And you may want to know why I got posted on top secret assignments such as these. It's because no matter what, we are here to help. Why? Because we can.